Toronto's Boots on the Ground, Episode 6. Today I'm here with Shannon Tymosko, who is also known as Lady.Bolts on Instagram. So, Shannon, you do a lot of advocacy work, which I think is amazing. You're working with programs like OYAP, KickAss Careers, and most recently started your own thing with two other ladies called the Resistor Sisters. I want to touch on that a little bit, but first, I want to know about you. How'd you get started as an electrician?
Like you said, my name is Shannon Tymosko. I am a second-year electrical apprentice here in Hamilton with the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers and Local 105. Like you said, KickAss ambassador and proud member of the Resistor Sisters. So how I got into the electrical industry was, oh my God, sorry, brain fart. That's really good. How I got into electrical is I wanted a job that I could thrive on, not just survive. So throughout my 20s, I did the typical route that, most people did. I picked the college route, and what it got me was a minimum wage job, one that, like I said, didn't allow me to thrive. It allowed me to just survive and slowly accumulate that good old debt. And it's really hard in the GTA here living, on a single income. And so at that time, I did switch careers to a company called Cash Money, Pay Today, those short-term loaning companies. And I worked for them for almost a decade, working my way up through things. And after 10 years, in one career, I only made $40,000, about $20 an hour. And truthfully, after a decade, you'd think you'd make a little bit more. And it really, in the GTA, that's not enough to have wants, to thrive. It's just enough to survive. Not even enough because, slowly puts you into debt. If you have any, your car breaks, where do you get that money from when you're living paycheck, right? So I wanted to find something that I could thrive on. And I also wanted to find something that I enjoyed. I didn't particularly enjoy my job that I was when I was at Pay Today. And so my friend purchased a home and he wanted to do some renovations. And it was through those renovations that I learned, that I enjoyed working with my hands. And I thought, what, I could do this for 40 hours. This is something I could do. And I searched out, programs, because I know it's hard, to transition. And I searched out programs through the YWCA, and that's how I got started.
So initially, was it always electrical? Was there anything else that you looked at?
There was prior to electrical, I did a pre-apprenticeship for general machining. And so machining, I did enjoy it, but there was some additional struggles. There are some struggles that came along with the machining. One, I do think there's a little bit more challenges when it comes to job security. It's very easy to uproot your job and move it to another country when it's, a machine. And it's very easy to replace you with a machine. So slowly, I think jobs are slowly getting less and less. And so the jobs you are applying for are normally these small machine jobs. I imagine, they're probably 5 to 10 member teams. And, my resume, Shannon, comes across their desk and they're like, oh, she's a woman, and then they start thinking, I don't even have a bathroom. That's a very expensive cost to a small business to be able to, make big changes just to accommodate one person. So I totally understand, those kinds of struggles from a business end. And I was struggling so much applying for different jobs and not having any success. And there was a pre-apprenticeship program that came up through the same YWCA here in Hamilton, and it was for electrical, and I applied. And and that's how I got into electrical.
And sorry for our viewers, what is the YWCA?
I don't actually know what the YWCA stands for, but they're, I'm not a clue. There's also like the YMCA. They're organizations that do a lot of social work, like social community activity work, right? So maybe they have day programs, they perhaps run these kind of skilled trades programs. They deal with a lot of mental health, all sorts of stuff. They're really about community, advocacy and stuff.
That's really cool. And so now you're doing your electrical work and you're also a huge advocate for women in trades. Let's start with OYAP and get into that. What do you do for them and what really is OYAP?
OYAP, that I do know what that stands for. That stands for Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. So that is, I think there's similar programs all throughout Canada in the different provinces, but that's specific to Ontario. And what they're about is they're about getting, they're about educating high school students specifically about different options, alternative options. I think, maybe, we talked about it before. We weren't really offered those options in high school. There was all the universities lined up to tell you about all their programs and give you the books with the hundreds of programs that they offer. But where was the person to say, what, there's 100 trades you can consider. You could be a boilermaker, you could be an electrician, you could be, and OYAP doesn't just do skilled trades. They offer apprenticeships in child and youth work. They offer in hairdressing. So OYAP first educates people, and then they also provide an actual co-op. In my high school, I remember the one kid who did the butcher. He was the butcher, but I didn't know how he got into that program. I just know he did a co-op. Now it's much more prevalent. I think it's more, especially with the workshops and the different things that I hopefully help out to do, to get students into actual co-ops so that they can try these different things, see if they like it. Try it in high school. Like, decide you don't like it now instead of investing. I don't talk about it often, but I picked accounting before I picked child and youth work. That cost me $4,500 that 1 year decision, which I didn't like. So try it in high school, children. Save your money. You know what I mean? It's way better. And the other thing I really love about OYAP is because they're part, the OYAP, you're going to cut that. What I really love, tongue tied, right? One of the really fabulous things about OYAP is if you do start in high school, some sort of skilled trades or something that requires hours. So if you're unaware, to become a skilled trades worker in whatever designated trade, you have to accumulate hours actually working on, with the tools. And you can, if you spent in high school, say you chose an electrical co-op, those hours can be applied to your electrical apprenticeship, actually giving you like a jump start on everybody else. And it's hard for me when I'm 32 years of age and I come across these 21-year-olds who, make more than me and are ready to buy a house. And I'm like, oh, I'm still paying off debt from career choice number 1, career choice number 2, career choice number 3. So OYAP really does help set people up for success.
And the nice thing about it, it's like you said, you get to try different things. So one semester you could be doing one thing, the next semester you're going to try something else. You really get that variety. Like you said, it can be hairstyling, skilled trades. There's a bunch of different options you're looking at. And I wish it's something. Absolutely. You said you had that one kid, and that's what I remember in my high school too. It was, there was more than one kid. There's people going off to do mechanics work and people going off to frame houses during school hours. And I'm like, how did you even do that? But it was oh, it's just a co-op right. program. But I didn't realize OYAP was behind all of that. So really cool program. And you said you recently did a workshop with that as well.
Oh yeah. So I guess that's what OYAP, how do I help out with them? And, part of OYAP is educating the actual students. So they, there's a lot of schools that actually have, trades programs, woodworking or whatever it might be. It might just be an introduction. And they hold workshops. So, it's all virtual these days, but have a little presentation, talk about myself and why I chose the skilled trades. And then they got these little boxes, and inside the boxes all had all the basic tools, your strippers and your linesmen, things so that they could do a switch and a receptacle. And so together, I instructed and taught, instructed them to their way through installing that. And so it just gives them that chance to actually try it. We talk about trying, gives them that hands-on experience in class. People, they're safe, they're not attached to anything. They're all, they're all just ends of things, it's for practice. But it's great for, actually giving them an opportunity to try.
And it's really cool. And I kind of wish they did those things for adults sometimes.
Well, and that's where the YWCA comes in. And the YWCA was a completely government funded program. And so, my advice to women, who are seeking, maybe you're interested in the skilled trades. I didn't start until I was 30. So, don't let age discourage you. YWCA, there was women that were in their 50s, women with children, all these different things. Don't let that discourage you. Everybody has obstacles and you can still do it, right? Be persistent. And like I said, seek out those programs. It's definitely, it's definitely hard work working in skilled trades. It can be, at times lonely, but, what's the nice thing is that there's a whole community of sisters out there. I've recently ran into two fabulous women, Andy and Darcy, and they're just, sometimes you just find like-minded people, people you just click with. Finish each other's sentences, stupid things like that. And those are those two. And so we've just, we want to do something more. We don't know what it is exactly yet. We're in the talks of things, but we want to make a difference. And so there's such a community of sisters out there. Don't let, being the only woman or one of few deteriorate you from, giving it a go.
And just to recap that as well, Andy, Darcy, and Shannon are forming the Resistor Sisters. So I know you guys have a page on Instagram now as well. And you guys are just kind of figuring out what you're planning on doing at this stage, correct?
Yeah, we don't know. It might just be for fun. Like, we don't know. Maybe it will grow into something big. Goodness. We just, we met last month with International Women. Well, we knew each other, but we really bonded over International Women's Day, making that video. It was such a great time. I really enjoyed it. Like, I just felt so great by the end of the week with there's more than just the three of them. There were so many girls in that group. And I think so often women are pitted against each other. It's like this competition. And, I'm so blessed to say that Darcy just joined my construction site last week. I have been on that construction site since October 2019, and I'm the only one who's been on my team until last week. That's a girl. So it is so nice to have a woman on my team, especially like your bestie. Like how could it be any dreams? But I will say that we both do deliveries at different times. We're on the different teams, and I went to go meet the delivery guy, and the delivery guy says, "Oh, I see you. Darcy's joined you." And he goes, "I guess you got some competition now." And that was the first thing he said to me. And it's like, that's the message, and that's what's being put out there. And you gotta remember, what did I see? Now I'm trying to think what I said last time, and I can't remember. It was so good. What did I say? About being nice to your sisters. Anyways, I don't
to tear it down.
Sorry.
It's way better to
Build them up. Oh yeah, something that is so good. So often, there's moments where, we have feelings. Feelings are normal, people. They're very normal. You're going to have moments of insecurities, moments of jealousy. It's how you react to those feelings. Do you decide to embrace your sister and realize, it's a little insecurity. It's my insecurity. It's not her. It's not her problem. Do you choose to embrace her and love her? Or do you choose to take your insecurity out on her? Let's be, powerful women together and show these men who think we're about to, compete, that's not what it's about. And so I just love these two girls. I just feel like, again, they build me up. And I want to show that in the trades. I feel like too often they're like, competition,
It's true. Like, you do feel like competitive edge, but through personal experience as well, it's way better it's way better to make friends with someone and build it up, because at the end of the day, like you said, there's not many women on the construction sites, and when you have someone, you can like complain a little bit too. It makes a world of difference
Oh my
because
God.
it's great.
It's amazing just to like, it's amazing just to have a female on site. And now we've already started early Friday mornings where we get there like 20 minutes early, timbits, and have our coffee sitting on one of the floors together. Like, it's just so great. The boys just complained about how much I talked, right? So now I've got someone to talk to.
Yeah, it makes a difference. So on to, so we've hit OYAP, the Resistor Sisters, and now KickAss Careers. Can you tell us what that is all about? I know Jamie McMillan kind of started it with someone else, and then that's as far as I got with that one.
Well, I guess a little bit more about Kick-Ass Careers. It's just a group of people like me, again, kind of like-minded people who are passionate about, authentic tradespeople that are passionate about what they do. And they're also passionate about letting people know, what they weren't educated about. They want them to know the options available. And so Jamie, like you said, the founder with another woman, Pat, and slowly that's grown into a larger group of ambassadors like myself. And it's what it means is I just get to kind of share my story and hopefully make a difference. Sometimes I get messages on like LinkedIn and stuff, and it's those messages that make my day, um, and make it all worth it. And so I recently got one at Christmas time from a father who said, I was gonna got my daughter a Barbie house for Christmas. I was gonna build it for her, but then I thought, no. I brought her over and we built it together. And it's those kind of messages, that like, you just built a memory with your daughter forever. She'll never forget. Not only will she play with that Barbie house, but she'll remember building it. And it's those kinds of things that I'm like, I get goosebumps over, and make it all worth it. And so just try to, make a difference, and hopefully, let little girls, big girls, women everywhere know that, and men, right? No, anybody, it's an option, and it's a great option.
It really is. Like just working in the trades as well. Like you have job security, you have good pay, you have benefits. Um, there's a lot worthwhile in the trades, and to get that out there and to get that misconception that the trades is like, oh, super dirty work all the time. Not that it isn't, but it's fun. You get to put things together. You get instant gratification. You see your work as it's happening.
Absolutely. And I often, like in my workshops, like one of my screens, I actually compare electrician and a nurse to try to educate, like just give them an idea. And if you compare the two, like, a construction electrician, noisy, dirty, dangerous, unsafe. Well, the nurse is dealing with dirty diapers, beeping machines, and patients. Beep, beep, beep. You've got, you want to talk about unsafe. Take a look at COVID right now. Who's more unsafe? Me, who's, safe in a construction site, who's pretty much working alone, or those nurses, who are dealing with, a pandemic right now. So, it's all about perspective. And I think too often, a lot of our older generations, their experiences are very different than what it is today. There are laws, there are procedures in place to keep people safe. 100%. When I was in machining, it was normal for the old guys to have missing digits, but that is not normal today. It is not. Employers want you to go home safe, and they want you most certainly to go home alive. And things like lifting. Can you lift that? Well, the most an employer can technically ask you to lift, I think, is 50 pounds here in Canada. And anything past that, they have to offer you assistance. I'm pretty sure there are women everywhere picking up their children until they're 50 pounds. They might not be doing it that often, but they can still do it. I'm not asked to lift 50 pounds on a daily basis. Let me tell you, it's few and far between, so, there's a lot of misconceptions. And I think one of the biggest one is like, I think it's so important that we work together. One of the when I talk about is one of the things I talk about often is a book called Half the Sky. It's about women's oppression around the world. And it talks about how, resources, a country has resources. They've got lumber, they've got oil, they've got these different things, but IQ is a resource, knowledge is a resource, and you're leaving half of your resource at home when you say you can't come work. So and I know construction doesn't say we can't work, right? They're not doing that here. I get that. But we are losing out is what I'm saying. And I often talk about, I go back to like basic animals. We are at basics, at the very basic, we are animals. There's the hunter and the gatherer. The male had to go hunt the deer, sit in the forest, and watch for like their 8-hour shift. Like, how boring is that? Focus. And the woman, they had to make sure they didn't kill you, that they, fed the children, took care of the in-laws, they picked the right berries, all of these things. They had to be multitaskers, and we slowly evolved. And I 100% think we're equal, but we are not the same. We have different skills that we've evolved to have. Men tend to be more focused. They tend to be able to push out all of those thoughts that women are like, they're already thinking about dinner. Oh, when are we going to cook again? The children and this. Men are like, focus, because they've evolved to watch the deer, right? And so we need the multitasking. We need the focus to make us stronger, and we are stronger together.
And I couldn't agree more. And I think that's a really great way to kind of like bring things back to basics, explain how it is. You often hear people saying women are more detailed oriented. So like having those small detailed tasks, or running it through, that we might pick something else up. And I think you mentioned this before too. It's even just the vibe on site, and the mood as well. It brings a completely different
Absolutely.
aspect in.
Women we bring a different energy. And it was another woman who told me this, that she was always asked, whenever there was like a meeting, she was always asked to be present. And it wasn't because she necessarily even had to be there. It's just she brought a different energy. Like, it somehow de-escalates, because we're more softer. And that's, again, evolution. We're just softer, and so we change the mood. And there's this one guy on site, and he is a yeller. I'm not going to lie. There are still some old school people here who think that's the best approach. And I can hear him coming, yell, 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 yell. He turns around the corner. He sees me. He doesn't stop yelling, but he most certainly gets a little softer. It's like you can hear his voice de-escalate. And the only thing different is that I'm standing there. So, we just somehow, change the energy in some way. And again, it's just another reason that proves that we are stronger together. And it, for all the contractors out there, we're thinking about stuff like efficiency and all of the things, that where money is lost, women will get in there, let me tell you, and they will find all those deficiencies, and they will make sure that you are a, well running machine, So women have tons of things to offer, and we need you on site.
Yeah, statistically as well, like the labor shortage is going to be it is a real thing, and it's going to be a real thing in the future as well. So we need more women. We need more people in trades in general. And I really like the way you kind of place that, bringing it back to basics again. That's a really good outlook.
Yeah.
So there is one final question that I'm going to ask you, and I want to know what makes you the most excited about your career. Like, what drives your passion?
It's often like people ask me, what do I want to do with my career? And it's like, where do I want to end? And it's not often like I want to be a specialty in like something. I want to be like a good leader. And because I also like, I'm so super passionate about learning. And so the two kind of go together, because I want to teach and I want to learn, and so today in particular, like I said, I just love learning. And so it was a great day at work. And, I actually got to do something different today. I worked with a new journeyman, Brian. He was a great teacher. Like, when you find a good journeyman, you listen. And we got to commission. I'm working on a hotel, so I got to commission, which means turn things on, actually turn the breakers on and plug stuff in that you've been looking at for months. I built this place from the ground, from nothing, right? And so I've been wondering since October 2019 if some of the stuff that I've put in is correct. So it's so nice to be able to be like, flick, yes, I did it, right? And so, and our foreman came down today, Shane, and again, super happy because, less problems on floor 4 than there was on floor 3, right? So we're getting, it's getting better. And it was all resolved before lunch. So it was just a great day full of learning, and I hope one day that I'm inspired to be a good leader, more so than like a specialty,
I think you're already well on your way there by the sounds of it. And congratulations on your huge construction milestone. That's pretty big. Commissioning some stuff and getting breakers going. Being able to plug things in is a great feature.
Well, and that's just one of the things about the trades that I love so much. It's just so rewarding. Like, I'm going to drive by that hotel until I am old and blue. And I'm going to be like, I built that hotel. I'm going to, like, the days that if I ever stay there, I'll be like, my children will be there. I'll be like, honey, we need to pull out the bed to see if my writing is still on the drivers. Like, like I built that place, and so it's so rewarding to know that, your hands can make something like that. Like, obviously it's a team effort. I didn't do it by myself, but, together, we made something so great. So just one of the things I love.
Just go with it.
That's right. I did the whole thing. I just showed up.
Go and flick the switch. Yeah, I did that.
That's right. That's right. Now you can call me the electrician. Don't call me when there's a problem. Look, the lights are working. I'm the electrician today.
Yeah. Good to go.
Whenever there's a problem, they're like, oh, electrician. I'm like, apprentice. Think you're looking for a journeyman.
Yeah. Play it while you can. You're almost the third year now.
I'm in an install situation. I'm not in a troubleshoot situation. So, like, those are skills I'm still gonna need to learn. So if you have a problem, I might not be the best person.
I like it.
Not yet, people. One day.
You'll be there though.
That's right.
Before we close out, is there anything else you'd like to add or say?
I just think it's really important people try. If I could say anything to anybody, any age, these social media and devices that we get hidden behind, I think too often we don't actually experience life. We experience life through other people, and how do you know if you actually like that? Like, you don't, right? So you have to get out and try stuff. And the best thing you could do, because let me tell you, you spend more time at work than you do at home. It's longer than a marriage most times. So if you can find a job that you love, then you are ahead of the game. Find a hobby and be able to turn that into a job. And let me tell you, no job is perfect, but you're winning if you can find something that, excites you. So try stuff.
Okay. I think that's some great advice, Shannon. Thank you again for coming on the podcast. Enjoyed having you, and I'm sure we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you, Laura, so much for having me. And maybe one day we'll be on here with the Resistor Sisters.
I think that's a very possible future.
Right? Once we maybe figure out what we're going to do with life.
I think it'd be great just to have all three of you go anyways.
Thank you. They are amazing women, I have to say. So.
Oh, and for everybody's reference, Darcy's episode 4, Andy's episode 5, and then Shannon episode 6. So got all three of them here. Let's hear all their stories, all the things they're doing, and then hopefully one day we'll have them all together.
That's right. Well, thank you very much again so much, Laura.
Have a good night.
You too.